Hello, everybody, and welcome to Survivor with Jamie, Jack, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
And I am Jamie.
And Jeff, I'd like to play my idol. Okay, it's not real. Can I just throw it in the fire?
Shocked faces.
I at that point I said, "Oh my God, Romeo! I've never felt more sorry for anybody on Survivor than that moment."
Well, I thought the same thing too, but apparently I read some of the exit interviews. I tried to stay away from most of the coverage today so I could give honest answers, but I did read a couple of the exit interviews, and apparently Romeo's idol was like a thing, or fake idol was like a thing, and
turns out there were a few
going, and it turned out that everybody, when he played it, everybody really, they did think it was real, and they kept thinking he was a badass for not playing it despite being on the bottom. And then
Mike gave him the good for you, good for you.
Yeah.
But it turns out there were a few different twists in the game that they didn't include in the edit.
So he should have just said, "All right, Jeff, I'm not going to play my idol. I don't need it." Something like that, because it just was awkward when everyone was so excited,
sure.
and they went, "Oh," because he wasn't going home anyway.
Right, yeah. He should have said "Hey, Jeff, you know what? I'm not going to play this," and then threw it in the fire and not even said it was fake. And let everybody
that would have been good.
Out.
I don't need it.
And that would have been hashtag drama. So.
Yes. Note to future players: if you make a fake idol, you don't need to play it. That's your move.
Yes.
Oh, my Siri apparently thought I was talking about the DMV of California.
You could have been.
He's so tricky.
Anyway,
we are here live on the YouTubes to talk about, and I am glad that we're doing this today instead of yesterday, because I did go to sleep fairly quickly.
Late
night. I saw who won, and I said, "Okay, I'm gonna go to bed."
Yeah.
And I watched.
And we can talk about the reunion thing after. I meant to rewatch it. I ran out of time, but I paid enough attention. There weren't any bombshells dropped because it was so.
There was a lot of pizza eating and champagne and
champagne.
Did Romeo?
Omar was trying to compare the final three to animals, and it came across.
But he wasn't even trying.
But it was hilarious.
But didn't Jeff make him do it and everything?
Yes. It wasn't on his own. He was coaxed into it.
But Omar was
something about telling the winner, the newest winner of Survivor, that she is a match for an animal that has the intelligence of a toddler didn't sound quite right.
But it's a smart bird.
A smart bird. And you can tell that, Omar was kind of embarrassed having to do it. He was like, "Dude, I'm trying to get laid at some point."
Right? He's all like, "I haven't been thinking about animals this whole time."
Oh yeah. Also, don't bring my work into this.
Well, there was. It seemed like, because you had Romeo and why am I drawing a blank on her name all of a sudden? The blonde haired girl.
Marianne?
No,
Lindsay?
Not Marianne.
Lindsay.
No, not Lindsay. Everyone made fun of her all season.
Tori.
They seem to be. There was some awkwardness there. I don't know if something was going on, or if they were. He just kept looking back.
We've just missed out so much not having Ponderosa, because as soon as the checks dropped at midnight, all of these players on Twitter were like, "We're free of the contract, we can talk now." And so there's big buzz about going through about all the happenings at Ponderosa, because apparently we really missed out. Really missed out.
So fireworks or
and just crazy cahoots, I guess. One of the tribals, everyone in the jury was really hungover and still partially drunk from the night before. Yeah, and It was pretty good, and there was some heat that was happening, but now
Wait,
we're
who
gonna
hooked
get the
up?
interviews. I
Wait, I
don't
want to
know
know.
like what I don't everything's just been alluded to because they weren't free to talk about it. So now that the treks
Wait,
the
by heat,
checks
do
have
you
dropped.
mean like bomb chicka bow wow heat or?
I mean it more in like there's like some not so friendly fire happening and like
Oh.
yeah, so I don't know, I'm
Sherry said,
interested. I'm
I
so
heard
interested.
Omar got. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, go.
Wait, Sherry said, I
Oh,
heard Omar got treated poorly at Ponderosa.
You mean Omer?
Omer,
Omar.
yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what did
I
you
mean,
hear, Sherry? I'm so out of the loop.
yeah, I want to know if there's more to that has come
I
out.
stayed away from everything, so I don't
Did you?
know.
Yeah, I've just been and now been looking at all the like
Well, I
the
heard the
press
Zach.
photos and
See, I heard the Zach and Lydia rumor at the start of the season, but like other than that, and I heard that Lindsay and Jonathan may have had a thing going, but other than
yeah,
that, I
and
didn't
I've
hear
heard that
anything.
too.
I didn't hear anything about Ponderosa,
I can
anything
tell
about
you
anything else.
whatever they had going, they were clearly not having by the end of all of
Yeah,
this.
clearly.
They were not
But
friendly.
yeah, I would love to know. Yeah, if Sherry has tea, spill it, spill it, spill it, spill it.
Yep,
I don't like tea.
he doesn't like tea. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what
Uh,
kind or where it's served.
Well, I know Lindsay in a couple exit interviews was talking smack about Jonathan, where she was calling him straight up, saying he was misogynistic. He talked to all the girls like that. In her exit interview on RHAP, which I only listened to hers and Mike's because I just didn't have enough time today. Marianne said that she didn't have ill things to say about Jonathan, but she mentioned that he kept calling her little one, and she really did not appreciate being referred to as little one. She thought it was demeaning. And Sherry says, I don't recall. I remember looking at Ponderosa videos and not being able to find it, and it popped up. It was an interview with Omar. Interesting.
Okay.
But I thought Lindsay. I think she felt when she didn't win the immunity. When they came back from the vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think she knew she was in trouble, and it wasn't a good look for her because she was, she wasn't making sense, and she kept saying, "We had an alliance." He goes, "Yeah, but you voted for me." Yeah, we had an alliance.
I didn't think that either of them. I didn't think that he came off looking good either, to be honest.
Well, I think he was trying
Janet
to.
Go ahead, Jack, and then I'll read Janet's comment. Janet says Jonathan was being a shit to women at the end. But
I just thought that he was trying to keep calm because if you voted for me, you obviously wanted me out. We're no longer in an alliance. Yeah. So her argument just didn't make sense. I think it was more she knew that she had to win the next immunity to get to the finals because she was going to be voted out.
Yeah,
because she had no clue. She was blindsided. I just think she just kept saying it over and over again. I go, okay, yeah, but you voted for him. You're no longer in. If you vote for me, we're no longer in an alliance. Now
you are at the final five at that point. Yeah. So I mean, at some point you have to remember it's a game, and we're gonna it's gonna be balls to the wall. Every man for themselves.
But that's what I'm saying though. Is he made them? He was part of another move that worked. She wasn't. She voted for. If you're going to vote for me, I'm sorry, we're no longer in an alliance.
I think Lindsay's worst move of the game was in this last episode because clearly it's when she went home, but she spent a lot of time whining and being like loyalty and we're part of an alliance and she should have just dropped all of that and said, you think you stand a chance against Jonathan at the end? You're crazy. And then she needed to sit there and campaign her butt off of why Jonathan would have won and why Marianne would have won over Mike. And I think Mike would have listened to it. I do think Mike would have listened to that, but he wasn't going to listen to a blame game when it's something they both had to do.
Right. Yeah. I just think she was I think she knew I think the pressure was on her. She knew she had to win. And like I said, when I saw I said the puzzle, it doesn't matter. Jonathan ain't going to finish this puzzle. I said, there's no way.
Yeah, we said the same thing. We were like,
I was shocked by Mike because I hadn't seen Mike work on a puzzle.
No, we said the same thing. Like Jonathan beast moded into there, and then Jay was like, and Alex and Zach were like, because they were rooting for Lindsay actually at that point, and they were like, Jonathan's gonna win, and Jay was just like, no, boys, that man cannot do a puzzle to save the game.
Well, it didn't matter because he was getting his ego fed thoroughly by Jeff. Like literally everything he did, he's like, Jeff chimes in, with Jonathan just flies across the ropes so fast. Like he's just compliments. And then Mike does the same thing. And it's like, Mike does the exact same thing, but it's not nearly as impressive because it's not Jonathan.
Essentially, you can see that, like, I think Jeff was more disappointed when Jonathan lost the fire than Jonathan was. I think Jonathan was like, right on, all right, I lost to a man, so I'm okay with that. And Jeff was just like, we need to end fire. Fire is the worst part of the show.
Jeff was great this whole episode with his feelings of how people were performing, dropping the ball before the game even really is starting. And he's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
But I think that if Jonathan had won the advantage, figured out that Lindsay got, his advantage wouldn't have been tying ropes. It would have been the whole puzzle would have been complete except one piece.
Right.
and then he still wouldn't figure it out.
He still wouldn't have figured it out.
And to be honest, I like Jonathan. I thought he gave Lindsay some credit at the end. She's great, but I thought he did respect her as a competitor. I thought, but also
can we?
I don't know. The more the more that we kind of hear from contestants as they leave, some like.
He's a little
saying without saying that they didn't always appreciate Jonathan's attitude around camp. But
well, they might not appreciate his attitude, but I appreciate your pronouncing of.
I will say, Marianne said that essentially Jonathan, anytime it was really cold, he kind of acted as like their human space heater. Like it would be
big enough
cold,
to kind of wrap
and
around
he would keep everybody warm, and he'd be shivering himself. And as a frequently cold person, I appreciate this.
Well, okay, so when he loses fire, and then he goes to the jury, that's like the next day.
Yeah, why didn't he shower and
he's still dressed like it's? I like that. I like that he's a pirate idea. Like pretty sure at this point,
Mr. Jeff.
Mr. Jeff.
He's a pirate.
I'm a pirate. Man.
These are his street clothes, folks.
I mean, we are talking about Kiefer Sutherland being a pirate, right?
Did more things add to? Did he have more things in his hair? Was there like gum in there too? I don't know.
Some gum wrappers.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, it is what it is. But yes, I did like John. I didn't really hate anybody out there.
It was a good cast. It was a good cast. And just to book in, as Chris said, loved how when Mike was finishing the puzzle, Jonathan just was standing there staring at Mike finish.
Well, I think he knew at that point.
Lindsay did.
I think he knew that at that point if Mike won, Lindsay was going to be safe.
Home.
Yeah.
I did enjoy their enthusiasm. I did not like the close-ups of their eating pasta, but I enjoyed the enthusiasm of their pasta dinner.
Oh, I loved it. I was like, I ate pasta 6 days a week growing up.
Yeah, I'd have been all about that.
Did it come out of your mouth though? Was it hanging there?
Of course it did. I've eaten with my family. We're disgusting.
Just shovel it.
Yeah, I don't need to see people eat.
Yeah, I don't like the close-ups.
I love that we haven't truly gotten into any strategy talk, but we can talk about the finale part, the reunion part, like the pizza and the champagne. I love pizza and I love prosecco. So together, it would be like a great combination. Except when you're watching people do it for an hour, it's okay.
It's not quite as exciting as I don't know. It's like, you wanna know what I think the best thing is about their having the reunion, all like not really being a reunion, but like having the finale show right there, is it's just the like 1.5 minutes of excitement that the cast gives you about it. And then after that, it's not that fun anymore. And
Yeah.
I miss like getting to see like, oh, this is what they look like now. Oh wow, I didn't realize how much weight they had lost on the island, and getting to see their family members. There are definitely things to miss about the old finale setup.
Mandy
It's
says those two things are great, but we don't need to see them do it.
it's probably cheaper for them to just do it on the island.
Oh,
I bet you it's a
absolutely.
lot
It's so
cheaper.
much cheaper.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I was thinking, I don't know if it's just me, but Jeff asked the final three a question that they already answered. How has
What
this
was the
changed your?
question?
He's basically
Oh,
what,
yeah.
and I get, well, they all answered that. They all said because,
Right. Yep.
um,
Yeah, because it was
So
part of their
Tori
jury
somebody
management.
asked them like, "What was your personal growth on the island?" And like
Mhm.
no,
Romeo
no, no.
talked
This is
about.
at the finale. This is at what
No, I
after they've
know,
already
and
announced the
then
winner.
that's kind of like the same thing that Jeff reiterated, right? He was like, "What did
No,
you
but
love about yourself?"
they answered it. I think during the thing. I know Mike did, but Mike kind of changed. I think Mike caught it and kind of changed up around, saying, "Hey, it's okay." You know, I finished whatever it was. But I'm drawing a blank on his name. Romeo. I go. He basically said the same. He already said that he was happy that he doesn't have to hide who he is anymore. He can, even though his family's very religious, he can come out and just say, "Hey, this is who I am."
Yeah.
This is, it wasn't worth. I mean, I liked what he had to say. This is,
Yep.
I didn't need the $1 million because I'm now free to live my life. I don't have to be afraid or ashamed or whatever it is who I am. And I said, that was a great. And then when Jeff asked it again, I go, I swear Marianne said the same thing. I'm like going, Jeff, they already explained that. I go, but anyway, it is what it is.
Maybe Jeff just didn't realize like what they would keep in and editing and what they wouldn't keep in.
He wanted to really make sure that got in there. There's this CBS host participation award, I think, or something, because Julie Chen Moonves does the same thing on Big Brother. It's just like you're just digging
The
to get that like
robot
robot shows feelings, just trying to get
I
this
am emotional.
this emotional draw out of your contestants, so that like the viewers are convinced that this is life changing, that this is a huge deal. And it's one of those things, like, it happens occasionally organically, and it is really cool to see, and it is really meaningful. But they both have been like really pushing, like, is this the hardest thing you've ever done? Like a lot.
And
They
they all,
pushed a lot.
but they always say it. I mean, it's just,
Mhm.
yeah. I thought it was harder than I thought it was gonna be. We were, I was crying. I this or this, all this different stuff. But
Yeah.
I think Rosie. I've said this. I say this every year. Rosie O'Donnell did the best job of the after show. She was a true fan, and she knew how to ask the questions and
How to do
Oh,
it.
she was in her prime back then.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was the best. And when they got rid of her, I think they had Bryant Gumbel first, right? And
Yeah.
talk about no emotion.
We are reporting the news.
Yes. Do you think you could have won? Anyway, but it was okay. I mean, it was fun to see, and it was nice to see everybody seemed to be in a good mood. And
I did enjoy like watching Mike like on his third box of pizza.
Oh my God. I mean, they were like, "Hey, you're a Puerto Rican from New Jersey. You like pizza, right?"
Bring it in, shovel it in. He needs some more. This man needs some more. I mean, he's really going to have to eat his feelings, because they just pretty much straight up said, like, you had the game and lost us, and jury. Sorry.
Oh, that was so tough when they were like, "Show of hands, who came in here to vote for Mike?" And like,
Yeah, that made me.
if they were truly undecided or leaning towards Mike, because I think Marianne had I say this every year, but I think she had the best final tribal.
Marianne's final tribal.
Maybe maybe history of the game, because we
It
had
was
talked,
great.
because we had talked about, because I can't remember Todd, but anyway, I just remember her, because when we talked a few weeks ago how Marianne's game had changed out of nowhere. She just changed it, and then she explained it. I go, oh, that makes sense. All the younger people were being, and she says, I'm just act flighty and act like I don't have any strategy and stuff like that. Then she switched to the switch. And then when she pulled out the idol, Mike's face
Oh, that
was
was
like,
fun.
it was like, oh, I just lost $1 million.
Yep.
Yes, because and the way that she explained it, like, I could have saved you, Lindsay, but then I would have lost. So
Yeah.
that was my game. And you could tell that the jury, they only wanted everyone to be honest about their games. And Mike did that classic thing that always pisses everybody off, to be like, I tried to play an honorable game. I didn't mean to deceive you. I didn't mean to do this. And at some point, somebody, whether it was Lindsay, Tori, I forget, was like, hey, we've all lied. We just want you to tell us about it.
I thought it was.
I think it was Drea.
Drea.
Was it Drea? Okay, I couldn't remember who said it.
Even Jonathan kind of called him out about it.
Yeah,
again,
I think Jonathan was trying to.
I was
like,
every
bro.
time Mike, because I could have lived with. I liked Mike, but when he was given that, I go, just say, this is who I am. I'm a man of my word. Me saying that was part of my strategy, was to get people convinced that I could do it. Yeah, sure. When I'm at home, I'm loyal as a dog. But here, you can't be. It's a game, and I play a game to win. So yeah, I did have to lie, scratch, cheat, all that stuff. I go, but tomorrow's a new day. We're friends. Yeah, ask me. That's how he should have answered. But this whole, because the one time I'm like, no, Mike, it was more than one. I go. Come on, Mike. And I said,
like the entire Chanel vote, like she wrote my name down. Like, you wrote her name down, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
He lost track of how much he had to dodge and weave, which sucks, because it's like Omer said, if he owned it, if he came out here and he was doing this to be the snake, like that deserves something. But when you are confronted that way, I feel like it's just like Survivor 101 at this point. If you're confronted that way at jury, the first thing you do is apologize to those that you were responsible for getting out. Then you need to explain why you said what you did, and it all ends with, that's why you're there and I'm here.
I wouldn't even apologize that I said I did what I had to do. To get to the next level. I go, if I play sports my whole life, I go, you could be my wife. I'm going to do everything I can to beat you.
Yeah, right. And I think it's also really great when the survivors actually like list out, like, Tori, you were a young voter, you were strategic, you got voted out, and like, you did this, so I had to vote you out because I knew that was a move that could beat me. And like, I think that every player appreciates that on a basic level, like of an egotistical level, and just in general, like, if you're there to play the game, like, you know how you lost, you want them to acknowledge how your losing got them further into the game, and then help them win.
It's that same. Go ahead. It's that same energy that I was talking about. Like, we got baseball or basketball or football or whatever the sport, whatever the league. What you don't want them to, but you kind of want whatever team knocked your team out of the running better go far, because you want to know that your loss was worth it.
Right. That's when was it the Dodgers that in 2020 knocked the
Dodgers in the World Series?
In the World Series?
Dodgers not.
Okay, and that's what I told Jay. I was like, don't you want them to win those? You could be like, well, the best team beat them, so it wasn't like the team that came in second place beat them, so they're truly third. They could have been second.
I gotta be honest, at my age, that doesn't mean anything anymore.
You're like, nope,
it's like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. I mean, it just if my team gets beat, I don't care who wins anymore. I usually, like in baseball, root for the small market team if my Padres get out. But I was going to say, I got like in real life, like if I remember when I was playing hockey, if a goal went in and I was a ref, but if I'm playing I'm playing the game and the ref looks, hey Jack, did that go in? I go, I don't know. I didn't see it. Even if like I said, it happened several times. I go, it clearly went in, but the ref didn't see it. It's not my job to do your job.
Out, right?
And I did that as a ref too. I go, did that go in? They go, no. I go, they're lying like I would lie. But that's
I know.
But in real life, I probably wouldn't lie to you. But in a game,
well,
I'm gonna lie.
Back to the final tribal, though. The chat is pretty unanimous in how wonderful Marianne's performance was, and I think
she was. I mean,
she was so She was calm. Exactly as I said. She was calm. She said her piece. She didn't. So often, how many times do we see people in Final Tribal, even the winners, who just get emotionally like invested, and she just very calmly was just like, well, no, I did this because of this. Yeah.
My favorite thing is, like, you can tell that in the way she addressed a lot of things, there was a lot of things that you could tell. Like, one, that she is trained in speaking to groups of people. She's learning how to do that with her job, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. But then also there's this, like, just this demeanor of sweetness and youth that is so her, is that every time she finished a statement, she did the, like, it was so cute.
But
I'm like, she has to win just for that. That is just flipping adorable.
If you just showed the first episode of Survivor and the finale, you'd be okay. That's two different people.
Yeah, yeah. You can go back and listen to me. I'm all like, nah, not from. I mean, she's cute and she's sweet, but nah, she's not gonna make. But then somewhere in the last part of that game, man, she just turned a corner, and like it was fun to see somebody like you watched her brain mature. Like, just her social brain matured so much towards the end.
I believe that she said that it was around the final 8 in which she realized, okay, now's the chance where I need to start to plot my scenarios and
what is it?
I do.
Her quote that she said, like, why take the chance to lose? Like, you can take the chance to win. I was like, oh, she got it. She got it right there. She's got the quote of the whole episode. She's winning.
Yeah.
Janet says in the chat, she did take Jack's advice, though. She never told one person she had that idol, which I think that always works, though, because Kelly Wentworth didn't tell anybody she had that idol, and that's epic. We still remember that. Marianne, if Drea had not told Omer that she had the steal a vote, this whole game could have been completely different.
And I think Drea would have. I think she would have won.
And kudos to
if she didn't get picked off because of that great vote, then I think she could have won.
Yeah. And kudos to the editors this year with the way, compared to last year, compared to the story and the journey that we had last year with the cast, compare that to this year. And it is just so much better. So much better. There's all these little moments where you could but I did like the cast, but the editing of the cast was just atrocious last year in comparison to what we got this year. Yeah. But these moments where we got Jonathan complaining about how Marianne talks too much. She's the one person that kept the one secret in the game. We have that. We have the time where Lindsay was like dramatically running everywhere looking for an idol, and in Bob's
and Marianne was just like
and just plucks it from the tree. And then you go to the end when they have to solve that puzzle.
That cost Lindsay the game.
It cost her the game. And then when she's like solving the puzzle and running, we get the whole storyline of Marianne considering saving Lindsay. And she knew in that moment she couldn't do it. She had to play her game. So we got this very clear story of Marianne, what her journey was, what she was when she started, where she turned, where she started changing her ideas, and then the dynamic end that she had. Versus with Erica, we're all like, what? How is this even possible? Because we had 100 times more story with Xander. So the editors really, I think, took in what the fans were saying last year, because there's people that are going to argue if Marianne deserved it over Mike, but I really feel it's just like nitpicking. This woman deserved the win.
Are people complaining?
Well, yeah, Facebook people are.
The major complaint is, oh, she only won because she had a good final tribal and Mike had a terrible final tribal. And it's like, well, yes, that is literally the most important tribal council.
I disagree with that. She convinced Mike to give her his idol.
Yep.
She was. Well, she had one.
Exactly. She was able to stay in the game when, like you said, Jamie, you were saying, I don't think she's not going to make. She stayed in the game. You know, she played. Well, I don't want to say stupid, but she played like she'd had no strategy, and
She played
like said,
harmless. She played harmless.
all the young kids, like she said, all the young kids, well, to me they're kids,
Yeah,
were
they were
picked
young
off
kids, though.
one after another. She managed to stay in the game. Like I said, Mike, especially the final, he probably played the best social game among anybody. He said he talked to everybody and all this different stuff. How would he not know that? Okay, I just got to go in there and tell the truth.
Yeah.
And he didn't
Yeah,
do
and
it.
he
But I
failed
think
at
it's
that. But
part of
again,
that-
with Marianne, this is another point to Marianne for her credit of being the like sweet little like talkative, bubbly person that just is unassuming. Because what do we just talk about Mike doing? He told everybody, "You have my word. You have my word. You have my word." She's the only one he really kept his promise to of like giving her an idol of all things, not a vote, an idol, the biggest thing you can have in the game. And she like convinced him to actually keep his word.
Well, yeah.
And but like I said, his look was
Yeah.
I think he crapped his pants because
When he
his
saw
look
the idol, he was like, "Oh, I'm done."
when she put out the idol, he goes, "She had an idol."
In his exit interview, he actually said that after that moment when he realized they were going to read the votes live, that he was just actively telling himself, second place isn't that bad. Second place is good. You're second place.
and to be honest, he has nothing to be ashamed about. He's 57.
No.
Usually the older people get picked off, like the really young people, and he managed to stay to the end.
Yeah.
So
and he had a great social game. Everybody that's gotten voted off has talked about how, and they talked about in the final turbo, like how great Mike's social game was, and that's a really important thing.
And he was so sly about the fire thing.
I know.
Oh yeah.
And he just like going, I don't know, maybe I can do it, maybe I can't. He goes,
that was his hidden idol.
He's trying to get in my head. Yeah, but he had like it was like a.
When his fire went up, I was just like, "Oh, Jonathan, honey, you going home?"
Because Jonathan, I think, I don't want to say choked, but he could see how fast Mike got it started.
Yeah.
And his only hope was that it just would blow out.
Yeah, he suddenly started staring at the fire like it was a puzzle.
And you had Roxroy going like this. Put it in a thing.
Even from the stands, he's like, "This is how you make a fire correctly."
I know Jeff was even like, you make this like this. Yeah. Come on, Jonathan.
But Mike's wasn't really like that. He was just throwing crap on top. Then he saved the coconut thing for the. And he goes, I said, "Oh, this is over."
Oh, yeah.
Unless a hurricane comes through, this is over.
Was it last season that somebody was very high and then Heather ended up winning? Was it Heather? Or somebody's was very high and then it ended up going out very quickly and the other person won.
Yeah, it happens. It actually happened, I think, a few times.
It's happened a few times, yeah. Yep. And
going,
if you get the wind, it completely will, like, you might have this huge flame. For a while I was a little nervous that's what was going to happen with Mike when he first got that big flame, because it was blowing.
But once they pulled out and they showed it roaring, I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, once it started making its own sound, it was good.
But I do like that Jonathan and Mike, both when they sat down, were looking at the fire stuff.
Checking it out.
Romeo obviously didn't have to worry about it. But they knew.
Yeah. Good competitors. Like, they wanted to compete, they liked each other, they had a goal in mind, but you know what I mean? This cast is not something you get all the time, where everybody is just excited for each other whilst being upset about their own game. And it's not always the funnest to see, like, but then there's times like these guys, it was really fun to see, because no one was laying down to die for the game. You know what I mean? Like, no one was just throwing in. We thought Romeo was, and then look, final immunity, and in comes Romeo. Okay,
let's talk about Romeo, because we had not. Romeo actually, I think, had a better tribal than Mike as well.
He did. He had an excellent tribal.
But he needed to hit a grand slam, and it just wasn't. I mean, with Marianne doing such a great job, I mean, he just
did so well.
He did.
Sorry.
Go ahead. He just didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
And if I'm ever on Survivor, like I'm going to rewatch how Marianne spoke to people
Mhm.
and tried in my hungry state to remember in the final 3 because she just did such a wonderful job. She was so articulate. And
Yeah.
that never happens. Like
And
it very rarely happens when you're that
knowledgeable.
articulate. Yeah.
When she was explaining how that move got everybody out.
Yeah. Exactly.
She probably couldn't have beat Lindsay.
And not only how it got Lindsay out, but why it was the right move moving forward, because it ensured that this partnership was going to work. It was ensuring that this person was going to take me to the end. Like, it covered all of the bases.
Okay.
Plus, it turns out she was
perfect.
She had final 3 deals or not deals, but she had convinced everyone why she'd be a good goat to take along to the final 3 from like final 8. She had everyone convinced, like, take me. And that's so brilliant because she was still playing. Like, generally, the person that knows they're the GOAT goes to the end and they're just happy with 2nd or 3rd place. But not Marianne. Marianne's like, I'm going to get these people to take me, but then I'm still going to make moves that I could talk about.
She didn't even have to say that I never actually had to play an idol at any point, because even when she did play an idol, she did it in solidarity more than anything, and then turned around and got another idol and never had to play it. She was never threatened to have to leave this game.
But I think she made a good move by partnering up with Romeo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think when she did, I was like, how can you trust this guy? This guy has not been trustworthy. And it paid off because he took her to I think he thought he could beat her. I think obviously he's not.
No, he said Romeo said he knew he could not. Romeo said he thought that Mike was going to win. Marianne he ended up taking because she was always the kindest person to him in the game, and he felt emotionally he wanted to be there with her, and he was just trying to play for 2nd place.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was just trying to play for 3rd place. Oh, Romeo.
Well, if he's playing for 2nd place, then he did feel he could beat Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
If he thought Mike could win, if Mike was going to win, because Mike thought he had it won.
Oh, yeah.
Mike admitted in exit interviews that he thought that he was going to win when he won Fire. He was like, I think I just won Survivor. I'm like, womp, 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 womp.
Well, if he'd been listening to us the last couple of weeks, he would have known that we had Marianne winning. So,
well, not me, but you guys did good job. Your points probably look fantastic. Mine just took a huge dive.
I think someone was 5 for 5, but I don't know who that was.
I think that might have been you.
Was it? Was it?
This is why I don't gamble.
Real quick though, I just wanted to point out again, and this is first of all, Janet says in the chat, Romeo loved that he beat Jonathan to the final 3. That was winning for him. I kind of agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of awesome that in a game of Survivor, the era of Survivor, when the whole game is to make big moves, that Marianne impressed the jury the most on a move that she didn't make. And I think that is kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it. I you know what? I'm a little bit more sold about this new Survivor than I was at the beginning of the season, I'll be honest.
Was anyone worried that when Jeff put the immunity necklace on Romeo, he was going to fall over?
Yeah. Was he 96 pounds?
Oh my God. I go, he wasn't heavy to begin with. And I go, he has lost. I mean, how much did they say he lost? Did they say?
I think he was 100. What he and Zach had that conversation in the first episode. It was like 170 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, well, he said he was at 96 pounds, I think is what he said at jury. Like,
and he was 117, 118 going in.
Yeah, 117 when he started.
But
my God.
I said, God, look at that. So I give him credit for winning that one. And it looked like Jonathan, okay, I've got concentrate, and then he drops the ball. Again, we talked about Mike. He drops it. No one's ever done that before.
Oh my God! So what was that called? Samosis. I wrote it down. I didn't know that it had a name, but I think the story behind it is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I love that it started in Token Jeans, but Marianne's never seen the end of Token Jeans.
Yeah, it's the only one. It's the only one.
It's a tough one because it would be easy if you had both hands. But when you have your
Samotion.
hand tied behind your back and you have to.
Yeah.
Yes. Samotion.
I thought it was a great season, and probably for the first time in a long time, I have no complaint on who won.
Yeah, I don't.
I have no complaint.
I just don't. I just don't.
And I love that
every time. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I love that we saw an imperfect winner.
Yes.
And then I love that she got to explain at the end why she was imperfect. That, you know, she was doing it on purpose. I mean, no, she did say at the finale show, which I admit, I asked this in the chat earlier, which is hopping right now, that I like the finale shows when the families are there because and even if they announced the winner on the island and then they all went home and did a finale, because I like hearing their opinions after they've seen the whole thing. And I do kind of miss that because they don't have the full story. Jeff doesn't even have the full story at that point. Like Jeff said, and I think Mandy pointed out earlier in the chat, that he had not seen any of the footage from, at that point. So,
plus, we forget about who the other 7 people are.
Right.
It's like,
yeah,
but it is. But I kind of like that they just
except for Zach, because I really would have loved to seen Zach there to see Marianne's win.
They're best friends now.
That's so cute. I loved on Twitter. He was like, "Oh, I love this," and like Marianne, I will not sign a prenup.
So Marianne has a boyfriend, and that boyfriend is actually super cool with the fact that they keep joking that they're like getting married. Yeah.
Well, she just won $1 million, so
yeah, true that.
Yeah. Makes it a little easier to accept things, you know.
Yeah, that makes the medicine go down, right?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Jack? Sorry. Were you gonna say something?
I don't think so. Was I? If I did, I would. I don't remember.
They're Twitter married.
Twitter married. Okay.
But it would have been really fun to see Zach and Marianne.
Well, and as far as the family goes, not to say that it doesn't feel like a lifetime when you're out there, because clearly it would, but we're not talking about the old days of Survivor where they're out there for like an extended amount of time.
Where it's 40 plus days.
Right. They're not even hitting a full month away from their family. Like stressful.
Like 26 days.
Yeah. So
and they get the creepiest family visit ever.
But I mean, I'm surprised they don't do something like on the phone. Like Australia had to change how they did their family stuff because of COVID. So they got like a phone call, right? And which was like a really emotional part of the season. So I'm surprised they didn't at least do something like that. But it still worked.
And you get a sponsored by AT&T or whatever.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Outback or sponsored by Applebee's.
Outback phone cards. Yes, that.
But I'm looking forward to next. There's still some of the twists and turns I don't like, but it was fine.
What do you not want to see come back? I'm okay with the steal a vote or whatever it was.
I don't mind steal a vote, but to any other contestants, don't tell anybody you have a steal a vote. And
we didn't talk about the nullifier. Did we ever talk about that? We haven't talked about that. There was the idol nullifier that never got put in the edit.
Showed
who had it.
So Omer and Jonathan, but Omer claimed it, found an idol nullifier, which would have just nullified any idol, and because he got voted out before he could play it, they just cut the entire storyline out of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so there was another twist out there.
Yeah, and it was part of why Omer ended up going home, because he had made a deal with Mike, like he wasn't worried about playing this because he had this. And we didn't get that. He had this part of the story.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I still think Omer was probably the best player not to be in the final threes.
I agree.
I think if Omer was there, he probably had a very good chance to win.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, as Mike points out, do or die seems dumb. No, do or die is dumb. So I'm okay with that never coming back again.
Do or die,
Yeah.
and the stupid
There's no
reading of the thing.
I don't like the reading of the thing. I wish there was some other way to like signal to someone else, to the other tribe, that you have this clue, or this idol. I don't like the.
I still say,
I like the reading
I'll
of
say
it,
this till I'm blue in the face. Make it where if you're looking for an idol, you could get a bad idol where you get no votes. There's no chance of it, but then you can always go, hey, I want to work with you. Here's my idol. And then they go to vote, and their parchment says you can't vote. They're like, I think that would be great strategy, and it would make for a fun game. Just going out there and fighting an idol, just whatever.
Another thing too is our final 3. We had a representative from every starting tribe.
Yeah,
That's only happened like one other time. Like one other time. That's it. It never happens. It's pretty.
Huh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I didn't even know that. I did not know that.
All right, I think it is time to tally the votes to see who won our round.
Let's see.
We are joined by Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Thank you, Colleen, for introducing me. You're a great host.
Well, to be fair to Colleen, we were talking, and you're really not that important.
I know I'm not. All right, so, but be careful, Jack, because you're in a good position right now. So let's Jamie. You said Jonathan was going out at 5. He did not. You said Mike was going out at 4. He did not. Romeo was 3rd, so you do get 3 points there.
All right.
Marianne was not 2nd, and Lindsay did not win.
No,
Wow.
Not even.
Wow.
Not even.
Wow.
So you get
I
3
couldn't have
points.
picked it worse.
You get 3 points.
So you replaced Jay perfectly.
Yeah, I did not do well there. Not at all.
You get.
Okay,
Did
but
she get 12
hold
points
on,
by my vote?
Colleen, just give me a second. You can talk over me in real life in a second. Jack, you my friend, clean sweep.
Dang.
Lindsay first out, Jonathan 4th. Romeo didn't get a vote, so was 3rd. Mike was 2nd with 1 vote, and Mary Ann for the win. That's
Look at you.
15 points.
Yikes.
But Colleen did all right herself. She did not get Romeo, but Jonathan was out at 4. Lindsay was not 3, but Mike was out at 2, and Marianne was the winner. So that's 5 plus 4
Wait,
plus
so Jack has 19 points?
2. So she gets 11.
So I get.
But hold on, we need to go check the final 3s, though. Let me go to the other one real quick.
I have the other one also.
Who did we say final 3 was for preseason picks?
Okay, so for final 3,
Give me
we all get a point for Jonathan because we all said merch. So 1 point. Everyone had Romeo as
Lindsay?
pre-merch.
Wait, hold on. What about Lindsay?
Lindsay. I had her the first.
Oh, you had her first boot. Damn.
Yeah, I was super close.
Jamie gets 1 point.
Okay, so wait. We each get a point. We each get a point.
Just can I do it in order, please? Can I do it in order, please, Lindsay?
Yes, but I need to.
Can I talk, Larry? Can I talk?
Yeah, geez, like Colleen, I'm here. Just let me do this. You brought me on to do this, so let me do it, please.
Lindsay.
Thank you. So Lindsay
Merge.
is 1.
It's like I'm reading emails all over again.
Be quiet. Like, Jesus. Just stop talking. Lord. All right, Jonathan is up next. Everyone said merge, so everybody gets a point.
Yeah, I'm already ahead of you on that. Everyone, only Jamie got a point for Lindsay.
Point. Just give it a second.
Jack had Mike.
What's your point?
Nobody had Romeo in final 3.
I had finale. God,
you had him for winner though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nobody had Marianne for final 3.
Oh, we were wrong. Super.
Jack had Romeo. Mike for final 3 though.
Jack did have Mike as a final 3.
Do we get points for having Marianne pass the merch?
Nope, because she was final 3, so you would have to call her as final 3. All right. So that means just in last night's episode alone, Jamie got 4 additional points. So that puts her grand total at what was she at before? 14, so 18.
Wait, I don't think she said 18. I know this is new. I just updated as you were talking.
Why did you update? I was trying to do this.
You weren't paying attention. I was updating as you were talking. That's why I was interrupting you because I was doing math.
Colleen wins by 1. There you go. Have fun, everybody. Don't know why I came down here to do this. Bye.
I didn't know he was gonna do that.
We scared him off. Scared him off good.
Scared him. He went away. I think he's kind of being a baby about it.
Okay, I think I had 9. I think I had 9 points before this episode.
You did. You're up to 14. Jack is up to 21, and I'm up to 22. And we did.
I lost by 1.
So, no, you lost
so my
I won.
So my stupid bet in the beginning.
That's what got you.
Negative points.
But what a comeback by me! At least I didn't finish in last.
Oh,
I didn't Romeo it.
Jamie was in first the whole time. Jamie was in first the whole time.
Worst, I want to quote Spencer here. Worst Survivor podcaster ever.
Wait, Spencer didn't say that.
Was it Spencer? What's her name?
Yeah, to Cass.
Yeah.
But he didn't say podcaster.
Well, I'm giving you Survivor podcast.
No, he said Cass, 0% chance of winning the game. And there was a big old eye roll in there, which you didn't do. I know you're standing there where I can see your shadow under the door, but okay.
I thought I had a chance there. Oh man, that bet I made in the beginning killed me.
Well, everyone, I win the golden Sandy once again.
Yes, you do. It stays.
To be honest, I got to be honest. After hearing that, I don't mind finishing second.
Jay might be mad if you don't. Welcome to my life. I'm just kidding.
I can do without the golden shandy.
Well, Jack won last season, so.
Did I?
Yes, you did. I will take it from you. Thank you.
There you go.
I didn't know I won last season.
You did win last season.
I
don't remember the score, but I remember making a big deal at the start of this season how you won last season. I was going to beat you.
You did.
Woohoo!
I was a little like Marianne. I was being coy in the beginning, and then but I made that final push. I told Cindy, I go, I think that's the first time in my life I've ever got the final 5 correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
or not. I've done too many of these.
Perfect.
And I was a little worried because I like I said, I was kind of rooting for Jonathan. I was like, I go, but no, if he loses here, he'll be 4th, and I don't have to worry about
it. This just proves to me that I should never be on Survivor. My readings are, even with like the edit of knowing everything that's going on, I still can't call it.
Celebrate this right here.
Some festive highlighting.
Festive highlighting in bigger fonts.
Bold. We need this in bold.
Oh. Anyway, good game, everybody.
Fun.
And you know what? I couldn't have done it if I didn't lose 2 of my winners' picks beforehand. And if
that's true,
Jack, if you didn't have, like, if Romeo had gotten out earlier, you would have gotten more points than me because you would have had an extra point for the.
And I would have picked Marianne.
Yeah. So you probably we would have tied at the very least.
Ah, well.
Because I would have had 1 less, and you would have had 2 more. So we would have tied.
You had your finger on the pulse this whole time, buddy.
But I don't get the golden shandy, so it's okay.
No.
Yeah, you're right. You don't really need the golden shandy. It's literally never going to leave my windowsill, so.
It has a home here.
Actually, to be honest, the golden shandy is nothing to write home about.
Well, it's not, but it's the prestige.
It comes up a little short in my book.
It does.
It's the wave of the wand. It's just the wave of the wand.
Yes, Cindy and I will be back for the Amazing Race podcast. She can't wait.
Yes.
She loves the Amazing Race.
And we're going to be doing over at the Crazy Hank TV. We're going to be doing Big Brother again this year.
Big Brother.
Don't know what the premiere date is for sure. It will either be the last week of June or the first week of July. They're being coy about the details at this point.
All right.
Is it returnees or just
No idea. Nothing's
idea,
being
okay.
said. Yep, they like the commercial is even just like sometime this summer. It doesn't even have a date. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Does anybody have? I know. Oh, sorry. I apologize. Anybody that just heard that big old mic
I
hit?
heard it, but
getting all Italian in up in here.
I'm not gonna pay attention to it.
Any last thoughts about the season? Overall, I really liked it. It wasn't, it was good. I really liked it.
It's not going to go down as the best season or even
No.
5 or something like that, but it was it was enjoyable each week. The contestants were enjoyable.
Yep.
Like I said,
Likeable
I
people.
don't remember going, I can't stand that person.
Right.
Yeah. Other than
And
Tori.
and the editors, have shifted the game a little bit, like their storytelling and it'll be interesting to see, what notes they take from this season going into 43. But I do appreciate that our finale had some real suspense in it. It didn't feel like you knew how it was going to go for certain, and the games were suspenseful. They did a really good job making it as fun as you possibly could make something that you think how it's going to end.
Janet's saying Tori, but I didn't even dislike. She's not even a.
I don't care for Tori, but I will say that she did well with jury. I think having her on jury was an asset for everybody. Her facial expressions were pretty golden.
And I noticed how she positioned herself
I think that was performative.
right behind Marianne. Right, she positioned herself right behind Marianne. I'm like,
yeah. And Mike says in the chat, Marianne made it a fun and memorable season. I do think that she is golden in personality.
Yeah, I was very. It's like I said, I liked Mike, but I was like going, God, Marianne, she's
delightful to watch.
She's delightful, and I said, she deserved it. So it's like I said, it's been a long time, I think, because I can say, okay, that person deserved it, and I wasn't sure where they were going. I said, until Marianne pulled out that idol, I said, oh, she just won it.
Yeah, because everybody's face was like, oh my God, she had an idol this whole time.
Because she couldn't have said because I was like, I'm surprised she didn't tell Mike she had an idol. I wasn't even thinking that she was going to. She knew she was going to play that to seal her deal, and I said that was brilliant.
Yep. Yeah. And I have to also say that I love. I kind of want to rub it in some people's faces. I love that Marianne won, but she didn't just like win with some easy people next to her. She had a fight against Mike, who basically had the best social game. She had to stick in there with Jonathan. So he, everyone's they vote off the threat right away. And even Jeff said, if you're a good player, you're out of here. But she really was next to some of the best players
in
their
Lindsay.
field. I wouldn't put Jonathan as a best player, but he was definitely the best, and Lindsay in the best physical round.
I still think, I don't know if it's because he was, because I think Gott said earlier that it was a non-physical cast, and Jonathan was like a beast amongst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't.
Amongst mortals.
On paper, he's the best at physical challenges in history of Survivor. But if he was maybe but Lindsay went toe to toe with him. So you don't.
Yep.
You don't know.
Yeah.
And I like how Romeo learned how to swim.
Yeah.
Before, because you always wonder, all right, why aren't these people taking swimming lessons?
Yeah, I've never understood that.
Right. Everyone learns fire, but no one learns swimming.
Yeah, I've never.
There's a better chance of having to swim in Survivor than going to the Final Four and making fire.
Entirely.
But 2 quick things for me before we go. Janet says, I kept wondering why she was taking the idol home instead of playing with it. And in case it wasn't clear, she has clarified in exit interviews that the reason she decided not to make the big flashy move was because as soon as Mike played the idol for her, she realized that she could be like, oh, and look, I convinced Mike to play an idol for me, but I didn't need it. I didn't get any votes against me. And if I played it for Lindsay, Lindsay could have said, my social game was so great in addition to my physical and strategic game that I convinced Marianne to play this idol for me and save me. And she didn't want to give Lindsay that check mark on her resume to say it, even if it wasn't true.
Because it would have been a tougher path for her to win. With Lindsay there.
Which is what makes it so brilliant.
Because Lindsay had a really good resume.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Mike says in the chat, she had to win against Romeo, who had the best pageant game. And I saw this on Twitter last night, and I thought it was such a great full circle moment for Romeo's edit. Not maybe for Romeo himself, but he says, his whole thing is he helps strong women realize who they are and be their best selves to win. And essentially, that's what he enabled Marianne to be able to do. So he took his profession and applied it to Survivor while learning more about himself and being able to. And he said to Dalton Ross in the Entertainment Weekly interview that he lives his life out, that his close family and friends knew that he was gay. It was all of his family. That extended family beyond his parents that didn't know, and they have all reached out to him since it aired and said, "Of course, we love you anyway." So he got his own happy ending as well.
Oh, that's good.
That's good, because you would hate to see.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it does happen.
Sure.
Where family will. Oh, I can't talk to you. I don't know.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm glad it worked out for him.
Yeah.
So everybody got their personal growth. And Mike's kids got to see him win at Final 5, which is pretty awesome.
With one heck of a humongous puzzle.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna die at one point because he kept falling off the ropes.
Oh my god, they were all like, other than Jonathan the freaking monkey. Like,
when he went across the ladder.
Yeah.
Yep, I know. When I saw him do that, I was like, "Hey, that's the monkey run that he showed everybody." See what the editors have done this year. And
what I like too is that Mike and Marianne didn't have to even win that challenge.
No,
they had idols, but they competed, and I like that, because they could have said, "Okay, I'm going to save myself for the next challenge," or whatever it is. But it worked out for both of them.
Yeah, it did.
One
more thing. Did we like the way that they, during that final 3 breakfast, we heard the jury members telling us their thoughts on each of the 3 they were going to say? I loved it. I thought it saved so much time that we didn't need that extra BS chatter to set it up. I
don't need to know what they think about the players that aren't in the game anymore. I want to know what the players in the game, like sitting on jury, think about
as long as they don't do the walk of shame where they had they used to do, where they had the torches and they're like, "Oh, I remember him. Yeah, I remember her. Yeah, I don't remember who that is."
Yeah, this person. We were never on a tribe with this person, but we heard.
I guess they're trying to honor all the contestants, but it was always so stupid. I remember when I could DVR. I go fast forward.
Yep. Yeah, no, it was always awful. But I love that they interspersed the jury stuff with the final 3 breakfasts. I thought that was a great way of combining time and whatever busy work kind of stuff. I thought that was great. I really enjoyed hearing that, because it just saved time at the end. I didn't need to hear stuff that I didn't need to hear.
What do we think of next off the top of our head? I know it's hard to tell, just the snippets we got, but next year's cast.
I think they look insane, and I'm excited because they look like a bunch, Yep. I'm looking forward to it.
Mike says, can Survivor change up the Final 4 challenge? They're getting a little predictable. Yes, now that Jonathan lost, Jeff is never going to do fire again. So,
well, I've been saying that for a while. It should be something that it should be something they're not expecting.
I agree. Maybe it's just do or die for the Final 4. No, that would be awful. That would be terrible.
That would be horrible.
I would hate that so much. But
yep. Maybe it'd be a swimming challenge, a swimming race.
Oh my God, that's right. There you go.
Well, it can't be something physical.
Learn swim, not
you got to even it. Yeah,
it has to be something. Maybe like that game that final challenge. That's not a physical challenge. That's a mental challenge. You have to. Coordination, obviously, but you have to focus on what you're doing. Maybe something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what they could do, because the fire was cool for a little while, but now it's getting kind of old. I agree.
Or maybe they can go on how they used to hold the pole and stuff like that. Maybe they can put it in the ocean, and with it rocking back and forth, they're all on it, and they're trying to hold on to it. That they.
Do you remember with not to bring it back in, but do you remember with Big Brother at the end, one of the competitions they had at the end was the scales, and you had like the final two had to be on
Yes.
like either side of the scale, and then they would be asked questions from the jury about like a move that was made or somebody's like what somebody else did in the game, and if they answered it wrong, the scale moved. So you were like at the end, it was like whoever was the winning scale is the one who moved into the final two.
Okay.
I don't know. Or
If there was something where something where it shows your connection with a group.
Just go back to a normal round at Final Four.
Yeah.
Where the person that wins the final
picks the other
gets to choose the two people, because I still say that one, I forget her name, but she got that was the year Ben won, I think.
Chrissy. It was Chrissy. She went against.
Yep.
She got and it came out. You're doing what? Fire. And I go, and then Ben got in there. I go, God,
Yep.
they really wanted Ben to win.
They really wanted. They were giving.
I still say she got screwed.
She did. She should have won that season, but she got completely screwed. And I'm okay with not doing fire anymore. I'm okay with them going down to a final two.
Yeah.
Like, don't do fire. Just do a final two. I'm okay with that as well.
Yeah, because it seems like always the third person never gets any votes.
It's too easy for them to bring the third person, like to have the goat. It's just how it is. It's just how it is.
And that's like, honestly, with these shortened season, the last two, they should have just done a final two. They should have really made it all the way hard.
I think I would love a final two. I think I would love if they went back to a final two. And like you was it Mandy that said, just vote, do the vote. Who are you taking with you to the end?
Yeah. Because then people have to, they have to campaign. They have to go, hey, look, I can't beat you, or whatever crap you have to do.
Yeah. And I miss that. I really like that last minute campaigning where you have to start. It shows your social tie to the game if you as a player can sit there and lay out all the reasons why your opponent shouldn't go to the final with the person who gets to decide. And it's like it's your warm up for jury.
Because then you have who's the guy that when Tony won the first time? Woo. He took Tony when he should have taken. I'm like going, no. He took the wrong.
Why are you saying Tony?
And he took Tony and Tony crushed him. And he's like going, I thought I could beat him. I go, you thought wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, so that you get that too, where there's pressure on who do you take, it's just like.
Yeah, because look at Jonathan and Mike would have been a great example in this. I mean, we had Romeo, but if Jonathan or Mike had won that final immunity, like would Mike have thought Jonathan was the best bet to have with him in the end? So you're making $1 million choice. You have an alliance throughout the entire game. The one person you've been loyal to, is that who you take to have sit next to you at the end, or is that what messes your whole game up?
I think he would have taken Marianne or Romeo.
I agree.
Because he didn't think, Marianne was so quiet about her strategy until like we said, I think he probably would have taken Romeo. I mean, if
he wanted the win,
if I got two, I go, I forget that crap about competing. I'm here. I'm starving. I want to win. So I'm going to I'm taking you, Romeo. Thank you.
Win and win.
Yes.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us this season. Guess we'll see you at 43.
Wait, I had a thought. What if they had two different games going on and the winner from each one is in the finals?
Ooh.
Yeah, but then the jury wouldn't be able to vote because they hadn't seen both players play.
That is a drawback. There's got to be
up
something.
To Jeff. It's up to Jeff. Jeff's the monster.
Maybe they could be like Survivor, 1 world, 2 votes.
Or do you or do you bring former Survivor players and they've watched the game? They watched it.
Just Sandra and Rob. Just have them like.
There you go. There.
But have like 5 former champions, whatever it is, and they decide who wins between the 2 best players.
Getting the writing room back, Gladfelter.
On that note, everyone, thank you so much again for joining us. We really appreciate it. We had an email from Mandy, but she's in the chat.
Mandy,
So it essentially said after 20 years in 1 week, we have our second African-American female winner. I'm so happy for Marianne. She's a delightful character and a fantastic winner. I think we agree. She's delightful.
Another Canadian. Keep bringing them in. The Canadians got game.
Oh, she's a Canadian?
Yep.
Yes, the Canadians are just taking over.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear one A.
Nope. She didn't have the A yet. Give her
play-
time. She'll get
You
it.
play
She's
hockey?
young.
It'll develop. You can't help it.
Yeah, nobody talked about hockey. All right, on that note, everybody, though, thank you so much. Jamie's going to head over to go talk about Better Call Saul. So if anybody
Been a big week. If you watch it, it was a big week.
I got to catch up. I heard it was a big surprise.
Yeah, follow her there on the Serious Drama TV podcast. You can watch her talk about that. I have only seen the first season of that show, but I'm going to catch up at some point.
Do
it. I will. I hear it's great. On that note, everybody, though, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. This was wonderful. Our chat tonight was fantastic. Thank you to the patrons, especially the ones that contribute a certain level, and that be Eckhart Rigner, Tack from Tokyo, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, and Ed, the creepy poopy head mailman. Zachary has asked me to do a podcast this weekend. He watched the whole thing with us, so be on the lookout for that, patrons, because he keeps asking, so I'm pretty sure that that's going to happen. All right. On that note, thank you for listening. We will see you in the fall. My name is Colleen.
I'm Jamie, and I'm sorry, really quick. Thank you to both of you, and thank you to Jay for allowing me to sit in his seat this season. It's been really fun. I know my friends really appreciate that I have somebody else to talk about Survivor with, because they're like, enough, Jamie. So thank you very much. It means a lot. It's been a really good time.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you join us.
Oh, great. I can't top that, so just bye.
That's Jack. Jack, Crackpot Jack, back on Twitter. Jack.
Back on Twitter.
Woo!
Listen to the Ramblecast if you want to hear the story. All right, on that note, everybody, thank you again. Peace out. Goodbye. Long live Marianne. Woo!